welcome back to Book to Reality. This week I'm continuing on with building Tamlins Manor from A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And this is actually the last video that's going to be in this particular series, because in this video I do finish Tamlins Manor. So stay tuned to the end of the video if you want to see how the model actually turns out in the end. So I am just starting off this week by continuing with my paint of Tamlins Manor. And just now I'm just adding some dark and light highlights, and I'm just using some normal acrylic paint to do this, and then sometimes just watering it down a bit just to get it to be a bit more runny. And now I'm just moving on to doing some dry brushing of the roof. And if you don't know what dry brushing is, it's a technique where you can get some nice textures if you're going for a more weathered look. And for this one I put a base down of dark grey, and then I just got some light grey, and you put it on your paintbrush and dry it off a little bit, and then you paint on top of what you've already done, and then it'll sort of catch all the highlights bits and just bring them out a little bit more. And it's a really easy and great technique if you're trying to get a nice weathered look. And then just continuing with adding some more highlights onto the building, just trying to get it to be the colour that I want it to be. And here I'm just painting the base bit, which I'm also just using a dry brushing technique. Here you can kind of see it catching a little bit more of the highlights and just bringing out the main points. Now I'm just painting what will be the grassy bit a green colour, just so that I can put a top coat of some grass on. And for this you don't need to make it a nice colour underneath, because it's all going to get covered over by your grass. So I just put some PVA along the bottom just so that the grass can stick to that. Then I use some modelling grass, which usually you can get this, it's mainly for building like railway models. But you can also use it for any project. And then I'm just putting this on top of the PVA glue. Now I'm just trying to create some ivy and vines going around the property, which is sort of what is described in the book. And I'm just using some modelling materials again just to do this. I do think it looks a bit too big for how actual ivy looks. But it's just what I had to work with, and I sort of just tried to make it work. And then I'm just using some super glue just to attach this to the whole building. And now I'm just using some Milliput, which is a modelling material. You can use it for all different things. And to use this, you mix equal parts, like 50-50, however much you use of one, you use of the other, and you mix them together, and then you've got yourself a modelling material. And this can be drilled and sanded as well, which is why it's quite good for making some models. And then I am just making some little flower pots that are going to go in the building. And then after that I'm going to make some little miniature roses that are going to be used to decorate the property, again just keeping in with the theme from the book. And now I'm just adding the little new roof pieces that I made for the conservatory looking area. I decided just to redo these because I wasn't happy with how it looked before. Once that was stuck on, I am now moving on to painting what is going to become my rose bushes in a minute. And this is just actually an old kitchen sponge that I just had lying around, and I'm just putting some acrylic paint onto it. And then here I am just using some super glue just to glue it down to the model. And then I just went ahead and trimmed up some of this ivy looking stuff just because I thought some of it was just sticking out a bit too much. And then here I am just painting my little miniature roses that I sculpted. And again, I'm just using acrylic paint for all of this. And now using super glue again just to glue my roses onto the rose bushes. I actually really like how my little roses turned out. It was quite nice to see them. And now just doing my finishing touches of some of the paint, doing the windows, etc. And then just adding some more paint to the conservatory bit just because the white looked a bit too bright, so we had to dirty it down a little bit. And now I am just sticking some clear plastic to the top of the conservatory, which is going to act as my little glass pieces. And this is just sort of to give the effect of glass, which I think it turns out okay in the end. It was a bit tricky to try and get it stuck down there. And then here I'm just adding a back to my model just so when you look through the windows you won't be able to see what's behind it. And here's the final model. I'm quite happy with how some of it turns out. I really liked how my roses turned out, and I like the general shape of the building. Like I've said before though, as a model maker or a prop maker, there's always things you want to change about your projects once you've finished it. But overall I did quite like how it turned out. And I hope you have enjoyed me working on this project. It has been quite fun to try and do something new while using some new techniques and things. And I'm excited to be working on something else in my next video. So that's it for this week's video, everyone, and that actually concludes the project of working on Tamlins Manor from A Course of Thorns and Roses. I hope you enjoyed the series. I did stretch out a little bit just to cover it into some more videos, just in case you're wondering on why it took so long. So that's what I was working on, and stay tuned to see Kirsten's video next, and then my video will be out after that, which will be me working on a new project and maybe a new book. So stay tuned if you're excited to see what I will be working on or what book I will be reading next. So I will see you all next time. Thanks again for watching, and remember, go and follow us over on Instagram if you're interested in staying up to date with what we're doing. The link is here, so I will see you over there if you want to join us. So I will see you in the next video. Bye!